Hi, good evening, classmates and professor. My name is Andrea Maldonado. I am going to present some of the data that I've done in ABA 626. I will mainly be talking about Deck 3, but I will be highlighting some of the other variables that you can see whenever I have beginning of one deck, as I'm pointing out here for Deck 1 and Deck 2. I always start with a very low ASAL, depending on my ASAL, and I have done this through decks 1, 2, and 3. Although I do show a upward trend at the beginning of each deck, which is good considering I don't change my study plan much. I do watch for extraneous variables every week. Every Sunday night I try to look ahead of my week for work and school and personal responsibilities and make sure that I put in enough time for study, considering what I have already been putting in for weeks 1, 2, and 3. So starting in week deck 3, my ASAL was, I'm gonna move down to this page here. My ASAL started at 6. Although I am always a little bit concerned about my ASAL in the beginning, I take confidence in I am going to study. I make flashcards through Quizlet. I study them 3 times through. Then any ones that I've missed, I study again. It usually takes me anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes to complete this. I don't do it timed in order to get used to reading the whole flashcard in the front and then saying the back in its entirety. As I become proficient, I start to study or take data within Precision X and record it. Some of my variables that I do for most of the weeks are as followed. I run a timing for 30 seconds. I on days 2 and 3 and 4, and I run it for 30 seconds, shuffling each timing and enter the best data point at the end of every entry. Every week, I set an ASAL at the beginning of any deck. I always usually set a ASAL data between 10 and 15. And week 3, usually, and the second week of the same deck, I usually set it between 15 and 19. And then the last week, I usually set it for 19 plus, trying to reach maximum ASAL data for the deck in question, as you can see in the chart that is showing here. When I do have a decline here in deck 2 is when usually there was a video presentation due. I do find myself being very nervous around the videos, and that's when I seem to show a lot of decel data. I try not to get hung up on it. I continue with my study plan, and then as I continue to study, I do notice that I continuously stay either on a continuum or my ASAL raises just by a little bit. And that's what I have for deck 3 for my video presentation. I hope this made sense and it was helpful for others to be able to talk about some of their charts. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.